Welcome to the Trust Factor Radio, bringing you interviews and insights to unlock the power of the subconscious mind to create authority, credibility, and trust. With your host, the Authority Architect and best-selling author, Neil Howe.
Hello and welcome to the show. This is your host, Neil Howe, and today my special guest is Niki Mosier. She is a senior SEO account manager at 2 Octobers in Denver, Colorado, and she grew up in Wisconsin, but she's called Denver home for the last 3 years. And Niki has been doing SEO for 7 years, so I'm really excited to learn everything that she has to say about what's going on in the industry today. Welcome to the show, Niki Mosier.
Thanks, Neil. I'm excited to be here.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, Niki, and 2 Octobers.
Yeah, so I got started in SEO. I was doing WordPress web design for some small companies in Iowa. And then when you hand a website over to a client, obviously they want to see that website pop up in Google search. So I started to kind of dive into SEO by default, and then started freelancing for some smaller companies, and then wanted to try out what the agency world was like, which led me to Denver a few years ago. I landed at 2 Octobers about a year and a half ago. We're probably a small size agency, but we serve some pretty large clients across a variety of verticals.
Very good. It's funny, like most of the people that I talk to in the SEO world, kind of just get there by fault, trying to work it out for themselves and then find that they really have a knack for it. What was it about SEO that you really took to?
I really like the challenge of trying to help clients come up in search for whatever it is they want to be found for, and then the successes that they can have as a business after they are found in search.
Yeah, it can really make a difference whether you're found on page 1 of Google for multiple keywords, or if you're not, you got to find a different way. There's certainly a lot of traffic on Google. So talk to me about your clients. What kind of clients do you serve there at 2 Octobers?
Yeah, we have a pretty big range of clients, anywhere from really small service area businesses to multi-location local businesses that have multi-locations, like corporate, and then lots of small locations, and then big e-commerce sites. So really all across the spectrum, which brings about a lot of challenges.
So what kind of challenges do they have specifically? What are they really looking for you to do for them when they give you that call?
So some of the different challenges that we see with really small businesses is just having things like enough content on a site to be able to come up in local search and want to make Google want to display those results. And then with big e-commerce sites will have all kinds of technical challenges that come with a large site, and just trying to kind of figure out what things we need to tackle to make the most impact for these different size clients.
So let's talk about the local sites first. What typically is a local site as far as the amount of pages and the amount of content that they have on them?
Typically for like a really small local business, I'll see maybe 5 pages, kind of an about page, a contact page, a little bit about what the company does. And if that's the case, we really want to try to encourage a client to kind of get a little more in depth. If they offer a couple of different services, break those into multiple service pages, start working on a blog on their website, things to really improve the content on their site and help drive traffic for more keywords to their site, and to help Google want to serve their site in the search results.
So really, every site needs just more content on it if they want to rank for more keywords.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need the content there to support the keywords that you're targeting.
Now, how are these sites, these local sites nowadays, because there's so many businesses that got websites designed, 5, even 10 years ago that haven't really touched them. Do you still see a lot of these basic 5-page templated websites out there?
Yeah, we definitely see a lot of those still existing, and that's definitely where we want to kind of help offer the guidance that we can as far as just not only optimizing what they already have, but helping to improve upon what they already have.
And as far as those bigger websites that you were talking about, some of the e-commerce sites, what are the major problems there?
We run into a lot of technical problems like site speed issues and sometimes duplicate content, really long, messy URL strings when you bring in a lot of different categories and products and things like that on these really big sites.
So which ones do you like working on? The local sites, where you can get really intimate with the kind of people in your local area, or the bigger national companies?
I really actually like both of them, Neil. I really like the challenge that it brings with local sites and helping to get sites to rank locally in like the local map pack and to optimize Google My Business listings and things like that. And I also really like the technical challenges that big sites come with and trying to figure out what those problems are and how to solve them, and also the advantages that those big sites bring with being able to try out new things.
Well, let's get into each one of those a little bit. Talk to me about what's really working within the local market now. Is the map really driving a good deal of the traffic to websites?
Yeah, Google Maps definitely are helping to drive a lot of traffic. Google My Business has made a lot of changes in the last 6 to 8 months as far as how in-depth you can get with optimizing a Google My Business listing. They just introduced the Google My Business posts, which are kind of similar to like a Facebook post or tweet. You can create a post right there that shows up on your Google My Business listing. You can promote a blog post that you've written. You can promote an event that you have coming up, products, all kinds of things. They last for 7 days and then they just kind of drop off. But they have a lot of interactive features. You can give people the option to click to call you from those, go to your website, take advantage of a coupon offer, all kinds of different things. And we've seen some pretty good engagement with these posts and people interacting with them.
How has that become any kind of ranking factor? If you're posting multiple posts or blogging, does it make a difference in whether you get shown in that map pack or not?
We haven't seen that they impact rankings currently. That could definitely change. But they're definitely just another way to drive traffic to your website, to encourage conversions, whether that's form fills, people actually making a sale on your site, whatever a conversion looks like for that client. They're just another source of visibility.
Mm-hmm. So what does actually impact the rankings and the ability to be seen in that 3-pack?
Definitely back to content again on your site. If you're a local business in Denver and you don't have anything on your website that talks about the fact that you are in Denver, the fact that you serve Denver clients, anything like that, then it's going to be really hard for Google to actually want to show people that you are in Denver if you have nothing on your website that speaks to the fact that you are located in Denver.
So that's one of the facts, is just making sure that you have your city name in that area.
Yeah, definitely. And then like people have talked about for years, citations, making sure that your name, address, and phone number of your business are consistent across all the major directory sources. So that they're correct on your Google My Business listing, that they're correct on your website, and then Yelp, Facebook, Yellow Pages, any place that your business is listed, making sure that business information is correct across all of those sources definitely makes a difference.
And with many things, SEO, things that worked 4 or 5 years ago don't necessarily have the same impact today. Are citations just as important as they were 4 or 5 years ago?
I think they are. I think they're definitely hold the same weight. I think one thing that's definitely changed a little bit is obviously link building and the process that a lot of people have been using as far as links go. It used to be that you definitely just wanted as many links as possible, but now Google is really paying attention to where those links are coming from and if they're relevant to your website. If you're an auto repair business and you have links from a grocery store linking back to you, that definitely doesn't speak well to Google. They're not in your same industry. They don't match up, if that makes sense. So you want anything that's coming back to your site to show Google that you're an authority in the topic. So if you have, if you're an auto repair company and you have a tow truck company linking back to your website, those are the types of relationships that you want to have. One thing that's super helpful to think about when you're thinking about the links coming back to your site is thinking about relationship building and people that you get along with and think similar to you. You want those types of relationships coming back to you. So you want those types of links coming back to your site. If you have, so one thing I tell clients is it's kind of a quality over quantity thing with links now. The more quality links you have definitely help out. But if you have a lot of spammy links that have nothing to do with your website, just like when people used to go out and pay for links by the hundreds, Google's kind of picked up on that, and that isn't necessarily the most helpful tactic anymore.
So what other things are really important when trying to rank in that map pack?
So other things that are super helpful are reviews. Definitely having a lot of positive reviews for your business on your Google My Business listing, as well as your Yelp listing. Google's starting to take those other sources into consideration. If you have tons of Google listings, Google My Business listings, reviews, and maybe none on Yelp or none on Facebook, it doesn't necessarily hurt you, but it can definitely help you to have reviews coming in from multiple sources. That helps show Google that you are getting, that you're authoritative and that you are good at what you're doing. So just making sure that you have a good base of reviews, obviously not doing anything shady like paying for reviews or giving out rewards for giving reviews can be frowned upon depending on the place that you're getting those reviews from. One thing that I've actually heard about recently from some other experts in the field is if your reviews can contain your keywords. Obviously, you don't want them to be just keyword stuff, but if somebody who does leave you a review actually includes one of your keywords in the review that they left, that can definitely help out in the rankings a little bit. So really just overall being a good business, being good at what you do, and being good to your clients can definitely just pay off in search as well.
And how about the power of the actual website? Because I've noticed that, some of the bigger sites that might rank organically aren't necessarily included in the map pack.
Yeah, so just things like site speed, making sure your site's secure. Google just launched their new Chrome update today that starts to display a not secure warning if a site doesn't have an SSL certificate. So if you don't see that little green secure note and that little green lock up in your left-hand corner of your browser, if a site's not secure, Google's going to start taking that into consideration as far as where they rank a site. So just making sure that your site is useful to people. If somebody goes to a website and they have a really poor user experience, they just hop on a site, they can't find what they're looking for, and they bounce right back off. Google picks up on those types of things. They want to make sure that the traffic that they're sending to your site, people are actually having a good experience, finding the information that they need, and then Google will continually send people to your site.
Regarding the security of the site and the HTTP versus the HTTPS, is that just on Google Chrome?
I believe so. Yeah, that's just a Google update.
And do you have any idea? I know Google controls the major market share when it comes to search, but how about the browsers? Do most people use Chrome versus other ones?
That's what I see the most in analytics when I look at browser type, is I definitely see a majority of searches from Chrome. I definitely see a lot of searches from Safari and Firefox as well. So, I mean, I'm not a security expert, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was something similar rolled out by other browsers in the near future. But so far, yeah, it's just Chrome that has that update.
So with the majority of the market share, it is very important to make that switch then.
Yeah, it's definitely most important if you have things like form fills and other places where you're collecting information from people on your website, but it's overall just a wise decision.
All right. So for some of the bigger sites, Niki, with technical issues, what kind of technical issues are we talking about?
We'll see things like site speed. So sites that have a lot of code that takes a lot of time to load, or a lot of images that take time to load, or other resources that can impact how fast a site loads. This is especially important as more and more people are using mobile devices to pull up websites. People really want things to load fast. They get impatient if what they're trying to look at doesn't come up. So Google's actually starting to make that a mobile ranking factor. If your site isn't loading in 3 seconds on a mobile device, then that's definitely an issue, and you need to figure out how you can improve that, not only because it's a ranking factor, but also user experience. If a user realizes that they can't get the information they want, then they're just going to leave and go to another site.
So how do you improve that load speed?
So usually, with the way we work is we'll run like a site speed audit and figure out which things are impacting the site, and then we'll make recommendations on how to correct those things, and then usually we'll pass that on to the developer for that website. We try to have a pretty close working relationship with developers so that we turn any of those actual behind the scenes technical fixes over to them so that we don't break anything.
So as far as SEO right now, what have you noticed that is really working well and getting good results with SEO today?
Again, we go back to content. I think being able to look at a site and make suggestions on how to improve content that already exists, and then also to figure out how to add additional content to a site, not just for the sake of having content, but because you want to improve the user experience. Voice search, as we know, is becoming even more prevalent. People are shouting at their Amazon Alexa or Amazon Echoes or their Google Homes or Siri on their phone, and asking them all kinds of questions. So being able to think about how people might be searching for something with their voice, and how you can have the content on your site so that Google or Amazon will serve them those results and give them your website in the voice search results, is definitely something that's becoming more of a challenge for us.
Yeah, how big do you think that is going to be? Is that somewhere that it's going to really move in the future, is just a voice command?
I think it's definitely headed in that direction. I think it's very vertical specific. I mean, there's definitely, I think if you have a cooking blog or a cooking website or something like that, I think that's definitely something. You're in the kitchen and your hands are dirty and you shout at your Google Home, Google, can you give me a cupcake recipe? Then obviously that's something you want to be able to have your website pop up for. But there's definitely probably things where you might not use your voice to search for if you're looking for something really visual, like how-to instructions, or something like that. But I think there's definitely headed in that direction, and something that we're thinking about as SEOs.
What are some of the misconceptions, Niki, about SEO? What do your clients come to you with some preconceived notions?
I think a lot of people, when they think of SEO, they maybe might get confused with SEM, search engine marketing. So thinking about trying to get conversions overnight and things happening overnight, which can definitely happen with paid ads, but SEO definitely takes time. We can't just hop on a site one day and flip a couple of switches and the next day have you showing up number one in the search engine results for whatever keyword it is that you want. If somebody promises you promises you specific ranking results or traffic results in 60 to 90 days, I would really take a hard look at what they're doing and what they're promising you, because in my opinion, SEO, when it's done right, takes some time and also should be ongoing. It shouldn't just be kind of a one and done thing. I mean, you can definitely do a site audit and hand that over to someone and say, here's kind of our recommendations. But if you're hiring someone to do SEO for you, I would be prepared to kind of engage with them kind of in a 6 to 12 month period of time, just because it does take time to go in and figure out exactly what's wrong with the site and make a game plan to fix that, and then start to tackle those things and figure out which things to tackle that will move the meter quickest, and then which things can be tackled later on down the road that maybe are a little lower on the priority list.
And what are the benefits of an SEO campaign versus SEM?
I don't know that there's necessarily a benefit of one over the other. I think they definitely work very well together. The clients that we've seen get the best results over a long period of time with us usually engage in multiple channels, whether that's SEO and social or SEO and paid Google ads, whatever that might be. I think they can definitely help each other out. When we make technical fixes on a website, such as site speed changes and security and things like URL structure and things like that, especially content changes to landing pages that might be used for SEM. We've definitely seen that impact an SEM campaign. SEM can be helpful because it will get people results fairly quickly, and that can kind of help build their confidence in digital marketing as a whole, and then maybe get them to engage in something like SEO down the road if they're not quite sold on that.
So with a SEM campaign, you're going to get results pretty quickly with pay-per-click campaigns and paid advertising. What is the benefit then if you're getting results already from that to do an SEO campaign?
The nice thing about SEO is once we make some technical fixes, we kind of get things in a good spot. Even if you're continuing to pay each month for SEO, chances are you're paying a lot less for the traffic that you're getting each month from an SEO campaign than you would be if you're paying for traffic from a pay-per-click campaign. If we can grow organic results significantly through technical SEO and content and some other things that we can do, chances are you'll be getting a lot better ROI on that SEO campaign. Not to say that you can't get a great ROI from an SEM campaign.
Right, but ultimately SEO is a long-term strategy then.
Yeah, long-term strategy, and eventually, if we're doing our jobs right, traffic that you're not paying for.
Mm-hmm. So as far as the fears that might be holding people back from contacting an SEO like yourself, what do you know that might be holding them back from taking action?
A lot of people will think, I have a website, it's already good to go, I don't need to do anything with it. Or maybe they've paid for a website through GoDaddy or something like that, who told them, we already optimized your site with SEO when we launched it for you. And really, it would be important. It's important to kind of pay attention to those types of things and see what they've told you that you've so-called paid for, and maybe you're not getting exactly what you thought you might have paid for.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is an ongoing process. SEO, you can't just do it once and then think you're done.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can do it once, and if you want to do things just real basic, like title tags and descriptions, and make sure those things are optimized. But especially if you have a larger site or you're a local business and you want to focus on making sure that you're consistently showing up in maps, it's definitely better to have a long-term strategy in place.
So as far as somebody seeking out an SEO company, what are the kinds of questions they should be asking them?
I would ask them, one, how long they've been around, kind of what types of clients they've worked with in the past. I would ask them if they have any case studies of SEO results that they've gotten for clients, and ask them if you're kind of interviewing a couple different SEO companies, ask them if they mind if you speak with one of their existing clients or if they have any client referrals to pass on to you.
And as far as case studies, give us a case study of somebody that you've worked with. Tell me what kind of problems they had when they came to you and what you were able to do, and ultimately what was the outcome for that company?
Yeah, so I've had one client that specifically comes to mind. They came in and were wanting to drive more traffic for a specific product that they sell, and through some technical optimizations on their site, we went through and cleaned up a lot of duplicate content. We added a lot of canonical tags to a lot of their pages so that they had a lot less URLs being indexed by Google. Just kind of made things make a lot more sense. We were able to increase their year-over-year revenue by a pretty significant amount. They're a white label client with us, so I can't use specific data. But just showing that simple technical fixes can really make a difference year over year. Definitely month over month, but a lot of clients tend to get a little too focused on month over month data, and that can be so iffy. Seasons change, trends change. So we really try to encourage clients to look kind of at the bigger picture, 6-month comparisons and year-over-year comparisons.
Excellent. Well, Niki, if somebody wants to reach out to you and 2 Octobers, what's the best way for them to do that?
Fill out the contact form on our website, 2octobers.com, or reach out to either 2 Octobers or myself on Twitter.
Excellent. Well, Niki Mosier, thank you very much for being my guest on the Trust Factor Radio today.
You're welcome. Thank you, Neil.
And to our listening audience, if you like what you hear, hit that like button and share, and we'll see you next time on the show.
You've been listening to the Trust Factor Radio with Neil Howe. To learn about the resources mentioned in the show and to listen to past episodes, go to thetrustfactorradio.com. To get a copy of the book, The Trust Factor, go to thetrustfactorbook.com. If you are ready to act now and build your authority, credibility, and trust, schedule a consultation with Neil at theauthorityarchitect.com.